Welcome back to comics, to Hot Comics TV. There's no use escaping, people, because it's Tomie. Like Junji Ito. Um, so this is an awesome collection by the master of horror, Junji Ito. So this media has done this collection of beautiful printed trade paperbacks, hardcover books, with a soft touch, beautiful production for these books alone. Like they got UV printing, that's how they've done this like shiny sort of effect, and also they're using soft touch for the printing of the actual cover of the hardcover, and it's awesome. This is a good collection, and it's a good jumping point for anybody who wants to get into the Junji Ito works of horror. So if you want to get into that and start reading horror manga, this is a good entry point. I highly recommend this series, and it's the start of, I think, Junji Ito's career. I'm not really sure. This is like, because this collection goes all the way from 87 to 2000, and you can tell the evolution of the work from Mr. Ito. So here she is, the femme fatale, the succubi queen of horror. She's not a succubus, but she kind of operates on that. It's a schoolgirl that turns men crazy for her seductress looks. And that's the weird thing. It's she's kind of like this just average schoolgirl. That's like kind of seducing men. Men cannot get away from her spell. It's kind of this weird psychological sort of control that she has, the spell on men in general. So anyway, that's Tomie, and here we can sort of see the early style, because it's very different from his current style. I mean, you can sort of see that Junji Ito's style is already formed, but it's a little bit. It has not really progressed. I mean, it has not really evolved to the point of where we are now. Let me just show you. So this is more elaborate. This is what his current style is, which is quite outstanding. I mean, look at this. This is just outstanding, flawless, awesome inking, and you can sort of see that he labors on these intensely, and at this stage you can sort of see that everything's a little bit it feels a bit contrived, but it's a very early works. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. I'm not having throwing any shade whatsoever to this man, because I think that his work is amazing. One of the 1000 reasons on why I have his collections and his works, because you can sort of see the evolution of this. In this one, you can sort of appreciate that. So it's quite beautiful to see this. So Tomie, what's this about? So this girl has an affair with her school teacher. I'm just gonna give you the gist of this. I'm not gonna get into the minutiae of the story, because if we were to get into the details, I'm going to be spoiling things, and I want to go through these quickly because this is quite the volume, and I highly recommend this to anyone who wants to get into horror sort of thing, of horror comics. This is good entry point for that, and also for Japanese manga, especially for the folks that feel that reading a book backwards is weird. Well, we got to be very thankful that we're getting this printed and translated into English. And this book, I'm very sure it's still very easily available, and there's quite large quantity of these available around. Anyway, so Tomie is the schoolgirl, and she's like having an affair with the teacher, and she's starting to blackmail him because she wants him to get divorced from his wife. And I don't understand I'm pretty sure this happens around the world as well, but like in Japan alone, I don't know if this is a common theme where the teacher is having an affair with like one of his students, and they're high school students. So blackmailing happens. And oh my god, look at these panels, beautiful. Very European, if anything, these outline sort of things. Quite outstanding. Anyway, so she's having an affair with the teacher, and it gets to the point where she's trying to blackmail him and all that sort of thing. And it gets to the point where they just murder Tomie, but then it all operates like if it was some sort of ghostly type of story. And I think I just spoiled it by going past that page, but I'm not going to say what happens. But what I'm recommending is that you read this, because this is cool. It's cool horror. The beautiful thing that Ito does is that he can flex from beautiful character design, like you can sort of see here. And very well stylized, by the way. He styles, like you can see, you can tell even now that there are early works that it's Ito and it's his work. And he's laboring with tech pens, with rapidographs, those mechanical pens that you can sort of refill with ink. That was very popular from the 70s all the way to the 80s. I mean, this if you were drawing and doing illustration, this would have been the thing that you would have used as a illustrator or as a graphic designer or as a advertising, designer or graphic designer for one of the art departments. This is some of the stuff that you would be laboring with. But anyway, I digress. And he's using your usual tools of the trade, like dual shade and all that sort of stuff. But you can sort of see that the tech pen's being used a lot because you can labor with these a lot faster. And it's really old media, this one. This is really cool. Anyway, going back to it, Junji Ito is putting this character that it's like a temptress, and she sort of seduces men. She's got a really big power over men, and men do these things, and she never puts out, she never kisses people or does anything, and except the teacher. He was having a proper affair with her, but I'm not going to get into the details of it. But yeah, she regenerates, as you can sort of see here. That's going to be the spoiler of this, that what Tomie does. Tomie? I don't know how to say that, but anyway. So that's what happens across all these stories. They're all short stories where this girl is kind of gets butchered, to say the least, and then kind of comes back to life to haunt their persecutors. So even though that she's doing nasty, controlling things, she's also the victim, because it's how she's gonna get it next. And the beauty that Junji Ito does is that he's putting these beautiful characters in these horrific sort of scenarios, and the horror element it's quite outstanding, and how he's able to sort of like portray that. I mean, body horror is going to appear all over this book in these short chapters where you see these, and House is able to. I said this in a previous video for Uzumaki, that he's able to flex from beautiful character design onto pure body horror. And there's another thing about this, is that it's got a lot of Dadaism, incoherent type of stories that he plays on that card as well, as much as into esoteric ideas of kind of like she operates almost like a witch as well, because or like or a sort of ghostly entity, as you can sort of see. But anyway, and then at the end, after the horrible things that happen, you can see it's like a lot of gore, and what do you call it? It's gonna happen onto her, because she's also, as much as she's the instigator, she also, becomes the victim at the end, and becomes a ghoulish sort of entity. So, having said all of that, this is quite awesome, this collection. So, it's got a heap load of short stories. And if you're, again, I'm going to say this again, if you're into body horror and madness and wackiness, you're going to enjoy this. So I highly recommend this horror book. I think it's probably my favorite out of the Junji Ito books because of all the wacky stuff that happens. I mean, the wackier, the better for me. That's the type of thing that I enjoy. So yeah, this one was bizarre. This idea that she's, what do you call it? Gets this key to what do you call it? To help her. Anyway, it's enough of that. Beautiful book. Beautiful book. Awesome stories. I remember reading this in the day that it came out. I haven't read it again. I did read a couple of chapters before I came in and revisited this and recorded this. This for everybody to share with everybody, and the recommendation for everybody to come in and get this book. And also, this is on Netflix. If you want to go that route for the video, for watching this on what do you call it, on TV instead, or stream it, or whatever way you want to do it, because these adaptations are out there. Junji Ito is in high demand now, and he's got a lot of material being published as in TV series for anime. I mean, it's available on Netflix, all in English. And the manga, the manga is awesome. But if you rather read it on the, what do you call it, on the book, you know what I mean. You can go to specific places and you can sort of like just start reading this manga. So I highly recommend this. It's quite cool. And if you can get the book, by all means too. So that's why I'm here. Anyway, that's it. Tomie. Awesome stuff from Junji Ito. And you're gonna get crazy, wacky stories of horror and school shenanigans and school drama, teenage drama. That's what we want. All right, then. That's it. Look at this. Awesome stuff. Tomie. Thank you so much for your time. Please like and subscribe and all those good things. Until next time, you have an awesome day. Take care. Bye-bye.